Y'all, Diddy is going down, and this time he is staying down for good. A video recently leaked of him putting his paws on Cassie, and it is bad. I mean, sure, she already told us in her interview that Diddy was cruel and often put his paws on her, but still, I don't think anyone could have prepared us for how bad it really was. For some background story, Cassie came out last year with an explosive lawsuit where she accused Diddy of all sorts of inappropriate behavior. She claimed that he allegedly put paws on her, S.A'd her, pimped her out to other people, stalked her, threatened her, and a whole lot of other stuff. She laid it all out in the lawsuit, and she released a statement that said, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence in their relationship." However, Diddy's lawyers slammed her and accused her of trying to shake down Diddy and blackmail him for money. His lawyer said, "Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million, under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Ms. Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. They tried to paint Cassie as a gold digger and a bitter ex who was after Diddy's money because her career was not going well. But what they didn't realize was that Cassie had the people behind her. There have been whispers for a long time about how Diddy wasn't exactly a good person and how cruel he was behind the scenes, and Cassie's lawsuit basically confirmed that. She had a lot to say about how Diddy treated her, and she gave so many examples. The court documents said that he S.A'd Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him, often punched, kicked, and stomped on Miss Ventura, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Forced Miss Ventura to engage in intimate acts with male SWs while getting off on it and filming the encounters. Demanded that Miss Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. And introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance use and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. She claimed that he had total control over her, and he would put paws on her for every small inconvenience. The lawsuit went on to list several occasions where he put paws on her, like the time they were on their way home after attending a party with Jay-Z. Mr. Combs Miss Ventura repeatedly in an Escalade, including by kicking and hitting her. He forced her out of the vehicle on 5th Ave in New York City. She was eventually able to hail a cab and get to her apartment in Manhattan. There's also the time when Cassie spoke to a music manager in hopes of her furthering her career. It was just a casual conversation in a club, but Diddy got so mad that when he left the club, Mr. Combs Miss Ventura pushing her into a corner of the vehicle and stomping on her face. When the car arrived at Mr. Combs' residence, Miss Ventura attempted to run away, but Mr. Combs followed her and proceeded to again kick her in the face. Miss Ventura was bleeding profusely and was ushered into Mr. Combs' home, where she began to throw up from the violent incident. She also recounted a time when he put paws on her at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles in 2016. According to the court documents, in or around March 2016, during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles, Mr. Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Miss Ventura tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. When Diddy saw how much damage this was doing to him, he chose to settle the lawsuit one day after she filed. However, he still maintained his innocence, and his lawyer released a statement saying, "A decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best." Well, it turns out that this was a big fat lie, because footage just leaked of the incident in question, and it is even worse than how Cassie put it. In the leaked video, which was posted by CNN, Cassie was trying to run away from him. She made it as far as the elevator before Diddy came running in the hallway with only a towel tied around his waist, and he started to put his hands on her heavily, dragging her on the floor in the hallway back to her room. Girl, I'm not kidding when I say that Diddy needs to be under the jail. It's even more heartbreaking when you notice that Cassie didn't even try to fight back. She just laid there and took it, letting him do whatever he wanted to her and curling up to protect her head and stomach. It's clear that this wasn't the first time that he put his hands on her that way. Even sadder, Cassie's lawsuit revealed that after she managed to get away from him on that occasion, she still went back to the hotel to apologize to him because she was terrified of what he would do to her when they were in private. She said she managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Mr. Combs to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Ms. Ventura returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs, Ms. Ventura, and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway. She also claimed that he bribed someone in the hotel for the footage of the incident because he knew quite well and good what would happen if it were ever leaked. The document said, upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. Y'all want to know the crazy part about this? It's that after this, while Cassie was healing from the bruises in private, Diddy threatened her to come back to him or he would ruin her career. He also sent people to threaten her to return to him. She said, after this, Miss Ventura left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Mr. Combs' phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Mr. Combs even convinced one of his attorneys to call Miss Ventura at this time. This lawyer told Miss Ventura that it's in your best interest to call Mr. Combs back. Each time Miss Ventura tried to run away, Mr. Combs and his powerful network would force her back to him. It's just crazy how much audacity this man has, threatening to ruin her after he put paws on her and she ran for her life. But if there is one positive about this situation, it's that the whole world finally sees him for what he is, and he is facing some serious charges. For some context, there are new reports that the FBI is now doing some investigation into him in addition to the ongoing case by Homeland Security. So let's just say that Diddy is in a tight mess that he isn't going to recover from easily. Fans commented, if this is what Diddy was doing to Cassie outside of their private home and room, I can't imagine everything else she endured. Lock him the F up right now. Cassie and Diddy were together for roughly 11 years. We'll never fully know the extent of what that monster put her through. And if Diddy was acting like that in public, can you imagine how cruel he was to Cassie and other survivors behind closed doors? Absolutely horrific. What a disgusting monster. This is horrible, but drop your thoughts in the comments and then check out this next video.